To the top of the map, Atlantis spaceship, we have the Terran player for the Prime team looking at a 1-1 score. His ideas.
Maru Prime.
He finds himself facing a Zerg player, a very aggressive Zerg player. Maru, of course, has proven in the past that he can be the aggressor as well. What is he going to do on this huge map? At the bottom left starts his opponent. Starting in the blue here for the StarTale team.
SuHoSin.
Did make his Overlord on 10, trying to scare spectators into thinking he might be going for a 10 pool again on a map of this size, but don't worry about it. Korean caster's talking about Maru's style. I'm not sure what that means.
They probably showed a picture from him on the Korean stream right now. He looks stylish, actually.
He does.
How do you call these thingies? Sweatbands?
Wristbands, yeah. He's always got these wristband, sweatband things. They're, I don't know, man. This it's that thing that people thought was cool in 7th grade, that they put like 8 of them on their arms with all these little like these small little wristband things, and then they wore them around. But Maru, he only wears one, so it's fine. He keeps his wrists protected.
Are you sure? They could have sworn he wears 2.
No, I mean one on each arm. He's not like got his arms covered with all these things because he thinks it's cool. Like he's wearing a black shirt and he's like not a poser. But anyways, so pool goes down for SuHoSin. He's maybe showing us a late game today. Will he grace us with that? That's the question.
Yeah, it would be a little bit different from what you usually see from him. And of course, in this matchup, you know what kind of all-in he usually plays against a Terran player? He goes for Roach baiting.
Yeah.
Roach baiting attacks are really SuHoSin's trademark when he plays in this specific matchup. This is one of the things that he has shown us in actually in his Codes group.
Yes. I was able to beat MVP out of that group, if I'm not mistaken, with such a strategy on Whirlwind, I believe it was. There's a lot of games that we have been covering.
Yeah, he actually lost against MVP in the best of 3, but he won this one specific game that you mentioned. He lost also to Happy, but just in general, in most of the games that we've seen from him so far, he really liked to use this Roach and bailing attack against a Terran player. And he has several different variations of it. He plays it on 2 bases, he has a strategy where he plays it on 3 bases, so it's really a little bit crazy. Maru, on the other hand, with a bit of pressure here, has to cancel his bunker and not really committing too much to
it. It's just a fake, but if for example, SuHoSin botched it and let the bunker get up, he would have these Marines to drop into it. But he's going for a 1-Rax expand, faking his opponent out a little bit, trying to force some lings, but actually Suho doesn't fall for it at all. And Calor of the Gas has been taken. What?
22 Harvesters.
Yeah. What's he gonna do?
You know, the last time that I've actually seen him play an aggressive style against the Terran, he didn't go for a Roach bailing, but more for a Roach attack.
Yeah, just Roaches. That's what, when you asked me, I said Roaches first because he does do Roach bailings a lot, but sometimes he skips the bailings. This is true.
Yeah. Late game is something that we only rarely see from him, but it's not that he can't play the late game, but he seems to be a little bit more comfortable being the aggressor in the game and not the one who has to react to his opponent's pressure and defend against it. Maru now with attack already. You can see the reactor on the production tab, so we will most likely see a few Hellions. And with a drone count as it is, 27 and 8 being produced for SuHoSin, he still has the option of building a Roach and bailing composition. But so far he has a fair amount of Queens. We'll find out pretty soon if he's going to be aggressive again or if he actually decides to play for the later game on this huge map where Zerg arguably has a bit of an advantage against Terran. Yeah, and that's exactly what he does. He's going for a lair tech, a little bit faster than expected here, but this is definitely not going to be the Roach bailing style that we usually see from him on smaller maps.
By the way, Kelder, how does a fan become useful in this environment where I think we might be in a vacuum right now on this Atlantis spaceship? I just don't know what the use of a fan is in this type of environment.
I'm not quite sure. It maybe looks cool.
Maybe it's a weapon. It's trying to keep people out of the whatever's behind the fan because it could damage things still in this type of environment, I suppose. But there's no air being blown out of there.
Yeah, maybe if you have a couple of lemmings that try to kill themselves, they could just jump in.
Yeah.
But they could also just jump off the platform.
See, the Overlord likes the vacuum of space to be blown at him.
You know, currently, yeah, the Overlord definitely likes it. He's playing a little bit of a Marilyn Monroe style there, positions himself exactly over one of those things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have now the Hellions, and Maru is always good with the Hellions, but I don't think he's able to breach through this.
Well, his game against Maru, he was able to do quite a lot with those, but in this case, a great wall by Suho.
I actually think that Maru is currently listening, so Maru, a quick shout out to you, and you probably don't like to remember the games against Maru. That didn't go too well. But now with those Hellions, you see, he's going for the infestation bait, and he started with a very fast tech actually, and that's what he's trying to hide. He of course wants to also protect his harvesters, but he wants to hide his tech. This third base is actually something that he might have to cancel here.
Yeah, because the Banshee's coming across the map as well. He can add a lot of DPS, and Maru's moving out with just a few Marines as well. He wants to really heavily attack this location, even ignoring the Queens for a second there. And the hatchery is down to about 800 hit points. He's going to fight with the Banshee now. Cloak is not quite done. He needs transfuse, and he does.
Can he save the Banshee? Yes, he can. And one Queen dies. The second one will also die. And I actually think that he's going to lose the hatch if he's a bit unlucky here. And that's probably the case, because so far we don't have Infestors. We only have 2 additional Queens, and they have a problem against this huge amount of Aliens.
Yeah, he's even cleared up some of the creep, which is going to make it so the Queens can't walk. And the second Banshee will arrive fairly soon.
He needs to take down these Queens, then he can really use it. But no, the Banshee dies, he doesn't pay too much attention to it, and now the Observer is ready. The Overseer, of course, not Observer. But now, currently, we have still at the top right, SuHoSin blocking the third base for Maru with the creep spread. But look at those Hellions.
They take out one of the Queens almost. Banshee arrives. Takes out a Queen. The second one, it can't be taken out now if he just hits it once with the Hellions, and he does. He does just that. He will take out the Queen. And now the hatchery cannot be transfused. He's only got 280 hit points. He's going right for it. Another Queen pops out. He needs to cloak. Well, actually, there's an Overseer there.
He doesn't see it. It saw it too late, and this is so close. The Infestors are now out. He might really be able to save this base, but so many Queens lost already. Resources lost is in favor of Maru.
4 Hellion shots will kill his hatchery. Will he target it? No, because he's going to get bundled right away.
No, not 4 Hellion shots.
With all those Hellions? I just did the math.
Yeah, with all of them.
Yeah, all of them, I mean, yeah, sorry, yeah, I just want to make sure that was clear, yeah. If 4 Hellion shots could kill a hatchery with that many hit points, man, I think there might have to be some patching going on.
Yeah, I was looking at the hit points and I was like, what? And then he clicked on it, was like 160 with 4 shots? Huh?
No. All the Hellions would have to shoot 4 times. And by the way, a huge counterattack will be deterred here by the depots, but he's like, well, there's no third base. I mean, I have my Overlord spreading creep over here. He hasn't moved it. Maru right now, only with 5 Marines on the map, is going to have to send those Marines right to the Overlord, and they're nowhere near it.
And SuHoSin is starting to show us a late game, and he's actually doing a fine job here. He's a little bit low on the Harvester count, but now we're getting 10 additional ones, so he wants to increase it. He delays the third base for Maru by quite a bit. They will last another minute. And here come the Zerglings.
He can't even kill the Overlord.
Uh-oh. The Overlord survives. Can he take down the Hellions?
Well, that's the question.
With the creep, he has actually a speed advantage.
He does, and he uses it, and he grabs some of the Hellions here. The SCVs... He's got the Infestors here. He can't take this base. This is such an awkward position for Maru.
The Overlord is still alive. He's
30 more
all
lings.
over the place.
Yeah, he even burrows a ling underneath there just to make sure.
Ah, this is annoying now. This is really annoying. And SuHoSin with a 25 supply lead is now getting +2/+2. So is Maru, by the way. He needs to use a scan here.
Yep, and he's not going to know about it until a long time.
Exactly, that's the annoying part of it. He actually waits now. He waits until the creep is gone, then he will try to land it, and then he's like, wait a second, why doesn't that work? So he has to send units over there again, has to actually... Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, he tries to keep the Infestors nearby, and the Banshee just finds them.
Yeah, you just saw this, but the Banshee actually sees the Infestors burrowing on the ground. He scans and takes one of them down, actually 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Really well done.
And that's one less scan he has, actually, to kill the burrowed Zergling. He will actually be able to do it, though.
Yeah, cancels the Baneling morph. Smart choice.
Starts Banelings on the left side, though, and 28 of them. Hatchery in the middle of the map has to be cancelled, but that's not really the concern of Suho right now, who wants to go for this big attack in the natural.
Top right now, he needs the scan. At the top right, we have, yeah, that's the scan, kills the Zergling. Finally, the third base for Maru.
In total, there are 28 Banelings from 2 angles that can come in here for Suho. Banshee is very annoying.
Yeah, and we have Infestors in the main base. Oh, that's a lot of them. And now he starts to attack with the
A
Banelings.
triple prong attack. One in the main, one at the third, and one at the natural. He hits good Banelings in all 3 locations.
Wow, the expansion lost all those SCVs in the main base. Is going to lose this one orbital. It's going to die.
Yeah, he lost the orbital. He lost a lot of workers. In total now down to 33 SCVs. Great trade for Suho. Can he hold the counter pressure? That's the question. He still has better army supply than his opponent, but the hatchery needs to be transfused. Oh, he transfuses it.
He has more transfuses ready, and he saves it, even kills this drop. And SuHoSin is playing a really good macro game here. Why on earth does this guy always all in?
I don't know, man. His aggression in, after the 15-minute mark even is pretty good.
Three attacks at the same time. This was so well timed out. The Infestors in the base of Maru, immediately dropping the Infestor Terrans. Then we have the attack with the Banelings, not only at the natural, but also at the third. Really well done.
He's going to do the same thing, by the way. The Infestor's still alive in the main. He's still got Banelings morphing at the natural, and Banelings and Lings at the third base. He's just going to go for phase 2 to try to finish Maru off, because Maru is so light in units right now. He's got 5 siege tanks. That's kind of the backbone of his army, and that's going to be quite useful against this type of attack, but he doesn't quite have enough siege tanks, or enough support for the siege tanks to actually stop this.
SuHoSin killed 41 Harvesters over the duration of this game. Now drops again Infestor Terrans, moves in, tries to take down the siege tanks from every single angle. This is the Swarm, ladies and gentlemen, and those Banelings, they are rolling.
They are rolling indeed. He rolls right into these SCVs. Marauders are ready to defend at the natural, but most of them low in hit points.
Could have killed a lot more SCVs there, but the damage is already done. 76 supply for Maru. SuHoSin being at 130, 1,400 minerals and gas for him. He has to cancel the 4th base again, but he's still looking at a very good economy. 28 Harvesters left for Maru. That's all that he has.
That's all that he has. This one Banshee up to 19 kills is trying to help out. He can't even land his orbitals because there are Zerglings everywhere.
And now we have Ultralisks. Ultralisks, 6 of them are building. Genius plating on the Ultralisk cavern is being researched, and this is the 3rd phase of SuHoSin's attack.
It is. He's got Lings everywhere on the map. In total, he's got 71 Lings. He can just continue to annoy his opponent. Maru's mining is so weak right now. He just now starts to try to land his orbital, finds out that once again he's going to have to scan. He doesn't have any scans available on orbitals on the ground. He just dropped his mules. He knows even if he does land it, his opponent is going to attack him and force him to land. He lands next to the Ling instead. Oh wow, Maru in dire straits right now. The Ultralists are actually just walking across the map.
Maru is desperate right now. Maru is really, really desperate here. He drops again, but at the bottom right we have now another base for SuHoSin, who's kind of fed up with always protecting this 4th base. Once again, Infested Terrans, he still didn't deal with those Infestors in the main base, and now the Ultralists are running in. There are, of course, a few Marauders, and they can really stop the Ultralists for now, but there's just so much.
Exactly, there's so much. It doesn't matter how cost inefficient he is. He even drops Infested Terrans at the back of the mineral line with those same Infestors in the main.
He's everywhere. GG. Maru loses. SuHoSin takes another victory. He is 2-1 in this group right now. Well played. Late game. We want to see more from you, buddy.
Very true.
And Maru, on the other hand, he is really unhappy with how this group went so far. He lost 2 games, only won 1.
I got a lot of tweets about Lance Spaceship, guys. People are really offended that I said some of the things I did about the fans. People are very serious about this.
Why?
Well, they're saying that, for example, there is gravity, so it's not really in space, so it must have some sort of, it's possible, quite possible, that there is some sort of atmosphere. That's not necessarily the case, so just because something has gravity doesn't mean it has an atmosphere. And some people are claiming that there are people living underneath. What? What?
Okay.
I mean, it is a spaceship, but it's not really a spaceship, let's be honest. Does it look like a spaceship at all? It looks like a bear. It does. It's a bear spaceship. And that a battle is taking place on top with 2 different races. Why is there a hatchery growing on top of a spaceship? Somebody needs to take care of that. Maru failed at taking care of the hatchery. Now the spaceship is occupied by Zerg. It's going to continue to spread the creep. Why is also Atlantis Spaceship still in map pool? I don't like it. What is your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you just no additional thoughts here?
No? I think you covered it all.
All right.
Maybe the panda bears living in the spaceship?
Maybe. We're going to take a 5-minute break. You can have this time to reflect on this. We'll see you in 5.